Hello and welcome to another episode of Around the Shop. Several videos back I did a video where I took a blank that John Chapman had sent me and I turned it into a modified slimline pen. I had a couple of questions that were really good questions about the modified slimline pen, and I did not address those in the video, so I thought I would take a few minutes today and answer those questions. Tom Dolan asked, when you make a modified pen, can you still change the ink? And the answer is yes. If you simply grab the nib and pull it away from the pen, you can see that the nib is attached to the tube, the transmission is in the back of that tube, and the ink very easily unscrews from the transmission. Once you've changed the ink, you simply slide it back into the pen casing. Russ Hughes had a two-part question. First he asked, did I glue the back tube into the pen? Yes, I did. On a slimline pen kit, you receive two tubes. I glue the back tube in, it becomes the permanent tube that holds the entire pen together. The second part of his question is, it seems you didn't glue the front tube in. How do you keep the nib from falling out? Well, as you can see, it's relatively tight. Let me grab the nib, and you have to pull fairly hard to get it out. The reason why this works is if you think about a slimline pen, you've got the cap and you've got the lower piece, and the transmission is pressed into the lower piece. The cap is pressure fit onto the transmission. Since the back tube is glued into the pen, when you push the front piece or the front tube with the transmission in it into the back piece, it locks into the transmission just like a two-part pen. The only difference is, since it's not glued in, when you turn the nib, the entire brass tube turns inside of the shell. Doesn't hurt anything though, because the back half is gripping the transmission, and since it's gripping it, it's allowed to spin, which will eject and retract your ink cartridge. The third and final question I want to cover today is, I get asked all the time by multiple people, where did you get that really long 7mm bit? I got this from Penn State, and it is a 5.5-inch high-speed steel 7mm drill bit. Now the part number on this particular kit is P like Paul, K like Kim, -7 mm as in millimeter. I believe it was $3.95 or $4.95. It was under $5, and if you chuck it up, I just put it away. When you chuck it up, normally your chuck would grab it down about here. I chuck it about halfway. I let it stick out a little farther than I should, or than it would normally stick out of the chuck. But when I do that, I can get completely through a blank to let me make the modified slimline kit. I really hope you enjoyed this information. Those are questions that I routinely get asked, and they are things that I did not cover in this video or the first video I did where I took the figured cedar and turned a modified slimline pen. So I thought it would be worth taking a few minutes and just sharing this information with you, because if you haven't created a modified slimline, I strongly urge you to give it a try. It's kind of fun once you've mastered the slimline to be able to take that same kit and turn it into something else. It's just something fun to do. I really hope you enjoyed this video. I want to thank you for joining me in the shop today. I want you to know that you are always welcome in my shop. Come back and see me again real soon. Have a great evening, everybody.